I don't know what the hell is wrong with you guys, but the Puppy 2 just launched like a couple of days ago, and it's already 40% full. You're a bunch of sickos, so I figured if we're going to stream a Puppy 2 draft, we better do it because you guys are going to fill it before I get a chance to do so. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and draft in the Puppy 2, eh? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hopefully everybody is having a wonderful day one Scott Fishbowl. Scott Fishbowl day one. If you were able to get in or wanted to get in or whatever into this year's Scott Fishbowl, we did create a channel in the Spike Week Discord to just everybody to kind of hang out and talk a little bit about their teams, the teams that they're seeing. I'm currently like 2 picks away, I think, from my pick in my league. I'm picking 10th, and I'm really hoping that one of the superstar quarterbacks comes to me. On top of that, we also added the Scott Fishbowl app from Josh ADHD to Spike Week this year. I can go ahead and share my screen. We can look at that really fast. If you see here and we go to Scott Fishbowl, this might take a second to load. But Josh's app is here on the website. And so anybody can take a look, right? You don't have to be even participating in Scott Fishbowl, and you can see kind of what's going on across all the different leagues, right? Obviously, he has here kind of a basic dashboard, and then all sorts of different fun stuff, right? Looking at players. My team, I haven't drafted anybody yet, but I've been sitting here staring at this ADP tab, watching. I know this is a little zoomed out here, but watching like some of these crazy, like let's see here. I mean, Kyler Murray and Joe Burrow going 13th overall in a super flex league is pretty crazy. I mean, Josh Allen going 5th overall is pretty crazy. I don't know if people didn't know that it was super flex or what, but some fun stuff if anybody wants to take a look at that. Like I said, currently totally free on the website. And then the other big thing I was going to do, kind of why I wanted to do this, well, obviously, like I said at the top, why I wanted to do this was because the Puppy 2 is going to fill so damn fast that if I don't stream a Puppy draft now, I won't get a chance to do so. But I did just put up yesterday the playbook for the Puppy 2. If you're not familiar, maybe a new viewer or a non-subscriber or just new in general to best ball, whatever, on Spike Week, I'm doing a playbook for every single best ball tournament that's out there. I am going to lump together, which is what I'm working on next, the DraftKings single entry tournaments. But as you see here, the Drafters Best Ball Championship is up there. The Puppy 2 is up there, and working on Best Ball Mania, working on DraftKings stuff. And so you'll be able to kind of see a general strategy. I'm not going to give away all the goods because this is for premium subscribers, but you'll see here, quickly some things and reason. There's a bunch of stuff here, right? Roster construction, some players to target, situations to target, all of that good stuff is here in that. And I wanted to draft, so maybe I will end up giving away a little bit of the goods as we get into this draft, because I do think there are some interesting exploitable edges, if you will, in these Puppy tournaments specifically. So we'll just talk for 2 seconds about why that is and like maybe the nuances of the Puppy drafts. So if you're unfamiliar, again, these Underdog launches these, they call them Puppy, Puppy 1, Puppy 2, Puppy 3, whatever, $5 best ball tournaments. They're so popular that they fill super fast. I mean, this what did this launch? Friday? Is that right? I think it was Friday. I can't keep track, but I think on Friday that they launched this puppy, and it's 40%. So obviously it's Monday afternoon. It's 40% full already. So, what that means is this thing, despite having 6 figures of entries, is going to fill really fast and only be during this small pocket of time. So because it's only during this small pocket of time, right? Let's just call it 1 week. It's only open for 1 week. There are kind of some specific nuances to more advantageous situations for us to try to pounce on. Now, we're at this pre-training camp phase. We're at this weird spot of the offseason where honestly, we really don't know anything. I mean, we don't know if Deshaun Watson is getting suspended. We don't know if Alvin Kamara is getting suspended. Doesn't seem like Dalvin Cook's getting suspended, but who knows? Michael Thomas is posting videos that make him look like he still can't move on Instagram and stuff. There's so much unknown. But because of that, if we attack some of the appropriate uncertain situations, that's where we stand to benefit the most. And so that's kind of a lot of the premise of what I went into in the playbook is those are the kinds of things we really want to attack in this, because in this pocket of time, we're not drafting against it like in Best Ball Mania where, okay, if I swing and miss on, X running back, I shouldn't say if I swing and miss. If I correctly hit even on the Darrell Hendersons of last year or whatever, and people find out about that later, sorry, I didn't realize Tommy says splash play is going on right now. That's okay. We can talk over splash play, and then everybody from splash play can come over here when they're done. But if we hit on, last year's what I brought up in the piece was if we hit on Darrell Henderson of last year, Sony Michel of last year, Eli Mitchell, CPAT, what could have been Gus Edwards, right? What could have been James Robinson. Those kinds of situations, if we hit on those, Michael Thomas going down and drafting Marquez Callaway in the 18th round. Marquez Callaway didn't hit, right? Tre'Quan Smith didn't hit. But those are the kinds of situations that you stand to benefit the most from, and you don't have to deal with later teams still getting those guys. You're the only teams that get them at these costs. And so you're getting maximum benefit because everybody's drafting in this exact same environment. If people that are drafting in August and September come back and draft whatever, Marquez Callaway, they also have the benefit of getting more information on Sony Michel, getting more information on not really CPAT, but you know what I'm saying? So it's the one type of tournament where we have this nuance of being able to totally maximize our situation of what do I win if I'm right about this situation. So, Jake, hello. Tommy says, yeah, but they're touting the stochastic stream because Spags is on right after they're done. Oh, I still can't do that. I still have to do a double take of the stochastic thing because that's, yeah, it's always so kind of like how I just hopped in the puppy too, by the way. 6 more if anybody wants to join. It's kind of like how Roto World will always be Roto World. You will never catch me saying NBC Sports Edge. Never, ever, 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 ever. It's Roto World. I still type in Roto World into the browser. So I'm never going to call it, God damn it, 8th overall. I'm on a terrible run here of not getting in the top 5. For everyone that, knows, the top 5 is really where we want to be in these drafts. Hello, welcome, Michael. 111. See, I would at least rather be 111 than 108 because typically someone that's available at 111 is really the same type of guy I'm taking at 108. So like, there's nothing there's like almost nothing, maybe 106, like if you prefer Kelsey or Diggs, or if you prefer Eckler or one of those running backs, maybe like 106 or something is a little bit different, but like 108 and 111 are just like absolutely no different. Jacob, of course, our good friend Jacob Sanderson. This is so true. Love a good old 105. Great Monday vibes. I mean, 105 is just the absolute stones, right? Like you guarantee yourself one of the top tier players, and it doesn't really matter which one it is to you. It's usually Jefferson or Chase, which are like probably my two favorite players to draft in any draft. So like he just gets Justin Jefferson, amazing. The 105 is just absolutely amazing this year. Whereas, it looks like, and there goes Diggs. I just have been taking so much Kelsey, and I'm really trying to stop. So I think I'm just gonna take Devontae. I haven't really been taking a ton of Devontae actually. So let's go Devontae Adams here. Absolutely not, Alex. I will not take the big dog. You were close to getting banned for even bringing it up. Tommy says Diggs is going to be stupid high in my exposure because I'm taking him 6 through 12, which seems like a popular take. I agree. That was actually why I was almost kind of happy that Graham took Diggs in front of me, because I do the same thing. I take Diggs. I mean, we see look Diggs average ADP now is 8. It used to be like more 1-2 turn, which isn't that big of a difference. But everybody is feeling the same way that Tommy is and that I am, and are like, well, after the top 5, I don't know, I'll just take Stephon Diggs, the wide receiver 1 on the Buffalo Bills, because I don't like any of these guys. But like that's the consensus now. It doesn't mean I'm gonna stop taking him or whatever. But you know what I mean. So this is where it gets interesting. CD goes, Najee goes. Let me zoom this out a smidge so I can see the whole board. I hate there's. See, this is just the absolute nut low, because I do want to get a little bit of CD. AJ Brown, that's interesting. Swift, I do like Swift. I like Saquon. I'm okay with Aaron Jones. Let me think about this here. Definitely a Debo guy, as you guys know, but I'm gonna pass on Debo here, and we're gonna go DeAndre Swift. As you guys know, I'm a very big fan of the Lions. I'm a very big fan of the Bears-Lions game in general, with the overall value. Sets me up really nicely with an anchor running back, a running back on a team I like, running back with the profile I like, and etc. on down the list. It's unfortunate because you used to, Saquon going, Graham takes Saquon at 206. We used to be getting, I'm really struggling with Saquon because I have a lot of him. He's one of my highest owned wide receiver, or might as well be a wide receiver. He's one of my highest owned running backs, but it was all from early on, when we were getting them early to mid third or whatever it was. And I still want to take him. It's not like I'm not going to take him. And especially in this puppy, good example of a player not to worry too much about in the puppy is like his ADP is what it is in the puppy, right? Like you don't have to deal with it. So I even like almost made this mistake just now, right? I'm so used to drafting in Best Ball Mania or whatever, where you do have to be a little bit cognizant of your portfolio and the prices you're getting on players as they move. In this, it doesn't matter. The ADPs don't really shift enough in a matter of a week to care. And everybody in this tournament is taking Saquon at the same price, give or take. So like, if you like him, this actually is I probably should have taken him. This is probably the right place to take him, as opposed to maybe in Best Ball Mania. Let's see here. So is Matthew Berry signing with Spike Week? I can't give away his I can't give away our big announcements. Welcome, John, in at the 101. Who did you take at the 101? Let's see here. JT. I'm curious what you guys are doing with JT versus CMC there now at the 101 now with Baker. I've seen a lot of CMC as my new 101 takes, which I think is totally fine. Just found it to be interesting. Let's see here. This is where we were all talking in Discord. It just seems easier to click Tebow here. Oh yeah, I agree with that. See, this is why I decided actually to not take Kelsey for once. No, I lied. I'm gonna take Hollywood because of something else. We'll come back to it. Michael Zimmerman says, I have so much Debo already. I have a good clip of Debo too. And like Tommy was saying, like Michael was saying, it's that weird range, right? Where it's like, I don't know, just give me the superstar wide receiver who clearly has insane upside, both weekly and yearly. We all like Trey Lance, so we can get Trey Lance and stack them up. You obviously don't have to have Trey Lance with them, but Debo just feels like a guy that I coming into the year. It's really funny, the ebbs and flows of this. You know, I mean, it's July now, but I remember drafting, you know, before the Super Bowl or shortly after the Super Bowl or whatever in some of the early contests, and the prevailing thought was like, oh, Debo's going to regress. And like he probably will. He's not going to have 30-yard rushing touchdowns quite like he did last year, but Debo's also just like awesome at football, and he really wasn't actually a better fantasy asset with the rushing. He was a better fantasy asset just like being a superstar wide receiver. And excuse me. And so it's like, I don't know. I just feel comfortable taking Debo. Is Debo going to be a first rounder next year? Probably not. Can I lose a little bit on Debo? Sure, maybe. But like, I don't know. It just feels like a comfy pick in a range that is not comfy at all. And that's kind of like a good thing, you know? So Kamara goes in the third round. Another interesting is a word. Guy, Gabe, our boy Gabe goes at the 401, 37th overall. Waddle, Pitts, Chubb, and Sutton there. Let me take a look. Damn it. I'm okay with this, though. I'm okay. So it's a slight reach on ADP here, but you can't put a player on the thumbnail and as a part of your big strategy and not take him. He wasn't going to come back to me at 56 with an ADP of 50. I mean, George Kittle's not falling to, but you know, there's a lot of ways for you to get George Kittle, you know, I mean, obviously his ADP is 50, getting him here in the early to mid 5th. Obviously I took him earlier than that, but like, I just feel like we've really jumped the shark on George Kittle with this price. He was a guy I wrote up in the playbook talking about, if I'm in the puppy right now, he's a guy I would like to take a stand on. Similarly, if I'm drafting in Best Ball Mania or whatever right now, and I'm getting mid 5th round George Kittle, I'm very much in on that. I just don't think anything really has changed from last year, where we were taking him at the 2-3 turn, comfortably taking him at the 2-3 turn. He's still as efficient as ever as a football player at a tight end position that we know we want superstar elite upside, and he's a 4th or a 5th round pick, and in a range. Say whatever you want, you know, Terry McLaurin, he's competing with Waller, obviously, at the tight end position, but say whatever you want about Terry McLaurin and Jerry Jeudy, Cam Akers, Deontay, A-Rob, Metcalf. These are not super strong bets, right? I like a lot of those guys, actually, but this isn't, there's no slam dunks in here. There's definitely no slam dunks. So, I don't know. George Kittle is a guy I'm happy to go down with the ship, I guess, again on George Kittle here. So interesting that Mahomes and Kyler are here. Nobody at the turn has quarterbacks. I don't have a Chief. I don't think Kyler is going to come back to me, and Kyler is one of my guys. I have Kyler ahead of Mahomes. I understand some people would probably take Mahomes here. That's not how I roll. I'm taking Kyler Murray. And now we're just set up one quarterback, elite quarterback, elite tight end, DeAndre Swift, anchor running back with Devontae Adams. Yeah, I think Juju was fine. Amon-Ra was fine. Kyler Murray is my quarterback too. So I plan for Kyler to be my highest owned quarterback, probably, mostly because the cost on Trey Lance is probably going to get a little bit prohibitive for him being your highest owned quarterback. So yeah, I don't really understand the Kyler Murray price. Kind of the same thing as George Kittle. That's part of why I took Hollywood instead, because I can just get that stack so easily with Kyler. I really just don't get what the hate is for Kyler. Why does he go where he goes? And now Mahomes fell, so I certainly understand people that let's take a look, see here. Queue up some Devonta Smith. I think Devonta Smith is probably the guy here. I go really hot and cold on Devonta Smith. I like him. I absolutely see the case. He's the archetype of a player I like. Second year. I mean, won the Heisman. Obviously, high upside profile as a prospect in an offense that we like. High upside offense. But I'd still just go a little bit back and forth on him here. When you have A.J. Brown and you have Dallas Goedert and you're a run-first team with a quarterback that's a iffy passer, I do like Jalen Hurts too. But it's Devonta is probably a guy that I certainly do not want to fade. And I think that's been one of my biggest takeaways from this year. Last year, I was so heavily focused on these are my guys, right? Obviously, Trey Lance was one of my guys, which in turn made the 49ers my guys. Darrington Evans was one of my guys, et cetera, et cetera. Antonio Gibson, whatever, was a little too focused. You have to have your guys. That's just how this game works. But I was a little bit too focused on identifying my guys, which in turn created fades that I didn't necessarily want to have. And I think I'm a little more focused this year. Again, I certainly have my guys, a handful of guys. But I'm a little bit more focused on who do I want to fade, who do I not want to fade. And Devonta Smith falls into that. I don't really care if I have overweight, whatever, that nonsense, stupid conversation that we have. Are you going to be overweight on this guy? Overweight or underweight? I don't know. I'm going to draft. I know I don't want to fade him, is what I'm saying. Does that mean I have 5%, 8%, 10%? I don't care, actually. But I know for a fact, because I have my draft IQ up here right now, and I can tell you that I've only drafted Devonta Smith one time. Best Ball Mania 3. And I think that's a flaw. So, yeah. Ooh. I'm going to click Ayuk, but I think I'm going to... Hold on a second. I don't really love A.J. Dillon any more than those other guys. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Brandon Ayuk and see... This is clearly not going to happen. I'm 8 picks away, and I'm giving away my thoughts here. But my thought was, let's take Ayuk and see if Dillon or Pollard will fall. If they don't, it's okay. And neither of them do. They both go right there at 7-10 and 7-11. But it was just kind of a gamble. And those are things that I'm willing to do. You know what I mean? I talked about this a lot last year, where it's like you get to draft 150 teams. People will do silly things like, oh, I'm going to build this crazy team because it's only one. Or it's worth devoting a couple teams to this crazy thing. I actually think that that's a fool's errand. People say that all the time, like, I'm going to draft this 5 quarterback team because whatever, it's only a couple of teams. But like in that tournament, you only get 150. And then when you start to quick promotion of our Thursday show that I last Thursday I had with Pat Kareem, where we start to dive into using Draft IQ, our player combinations and stat combinations, like actually look at your portfolio. Don't just look at the overall exposure. That's the problem that comes about when you just say like, oh, I can just throw away these couple teams on this crazy thing, is that you don't actually know what your portfolio looks like when you're saying that. So here's another guy I'm trying to take right now who is also in the playbook. I think this is the second player of the playbook, giving away all the goods of the article. But Kareem Hunt, just to finish that thought, Pat and I talked a lot about, actually understanding your portfolio. And I think this is one of the biggest flaws that exist in best ball drafters now, is that people don't actually, like, going into Underdog and looking at your just exposure percentages is, you don't actually know what's in your portfolio, right? It would be like running a DFS optimizer and just setting percentages for individual players, not thinking about, not setting any rules, not setting any correlations, not doing anything like that. Just be like, I don't know. I want 25% of this guy and 10% of this guy and 30% of this guy, whatever. And you don't care who they're paired with, right? That's what it's like to just go into your exposure page on Underdog and say like, oh yeah, I got this much of this guy, whatever. You actually don't know. And so that's when people throw away teams, you're intentionally hurting your ROI through sheer lack of caring about what's in your portfolio. So that's why we're building some of this stuff, because I want to be able to see, because I'm probably throwing away teams as well. And so the Ayuk thing was, you can take those gambles while still taking players and teams and structures that make sense to you. And like, I don't know, maybe Pollard or Dillon does fall to me there. I don't know what the percentage was. Certainly when you're doing a stream, the percentage is very low that's going to happen. If I were drafting by myself, maybe it doesn't. But like, it's fine. I got Kareem Hunt instead. Kareem Hunt is a guy I'm trying to draft in the puppy because of the Browns backfield situation, not because of Deshaun Watson and such. We don't need to talk about that. But we're at this point where I think something is eventually going to happen between Dearness Johnson and Kareem Hunt. One of them has to move. I can't imagine a scenario in which they go in with 4 running backs on their roster. If they do, it's fine. Kareem Hunt, Dearness Johnson existed last year, and Kareem Hunt went higher than this, and we all liked him. And he was fine. And Dearness Johnson was fine, right? There are paths to them both being fine, but we've totally kicked Kareem Hunt down the board behind all these other, like, contingent value / 1B running backs, which is basically what they all are, right? Dillon, Pollard, Hunt, CEH, etc. They're all like either contingent bets / smaller side of a timeshare. And we are into all. Oh, I like Boyd though. I'm down for some Tyler Boyd here. We'll do Tyler Boyd. Another reason to hit some of those wide receivers and start Devontae Adams, Hollywood Brown, Devonta Smith, Brandon Ayuk, and Tyler Boyd, because we've clearly gone on an insane wide receiver run here. Anyway, ranted a lot about some of that stuff, but it's something I'm like, it's the new thing. You go through so many drafts over the course of the offseason, you latch on to certain things at different times. And one that I'm latched onto right now is like this idea of like, I need to actually understand my portfolio. Just looking at my exposure page on Underdog is not helpful. you need to know the player combinations. You need to know what your actual stacks look like. Even just saying I have X% of Cardinals stacks doesn't tell you. Even just saying I have X% of Cardinals week 17 game stacks with Atlanta doesn't tell you what are the combinations. Like, what are the actual physical player combinations? You have Kyler Murray with Hollywood Brown and Kyle Pitts. Awesome. That, like, how many? One out of 150? You're like, that's Kyler's my highest owned quarterback. Hollywood's one of my highest owned wide receivers. Pitts is one of my highest owned tight ends. And then you go and you look and you have across 150 teams, you have 2 of those 3 players. That can happen. Trey Lance, it happened. I talked about it on Thursday with Pat. Some of my highest owned players, I have them I don't have them combined, or I barely have them combined. Oh man, I like some of these running backs. I can't believe Aaron. It's so funny. I do like some of these running backs. I hate you guys making me take running backs. I'm going to take Melvin here, though. Obviously, if I like Javonte, which I like Javonte a lot more, I like Melvin as well. He's a very different bet, but a bet I still like to make in the 10th round here. And I just think we'd reached this wide receiver range that, like, if I get locked out of McCole, Jarvis Landry, Jacoby Myers, Jamison Crowder, even Jameson Williams, who I obviously love, if I get locked out of those guys, I think I'm going to be okay. Okay. Anyway, you guys have heard me rant about a lot of that stuff. Now let's hit some of the comments. Yeah. Omar says a ton of people play DFS like that, which is like true. And also why there's still an edge exists, like in large field tournaments. It's where the people that are bad at this play, and they play like that, right? Like, go play the Thunderdome, nobody's making a bad team. Go play the Millie, and there's people that are just like, I don't know, I want 20% of this guy and 40% of this guy, whatever. And they don't like make any rules. They don't, there's no actual deep level thinking on their teams. Let's see. There was a question on Godwin, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, it was Omar was asking, kind of out of left field, but thoughts on Godwin while talking about guys in that range. Yeah, it's interesting because, sorry, I had the board all screwed up here. I was out on, this is like I'm going to take a W and an L at the same time. The W is I was out on Godwin at the old cost. And I saw some, and like you start to question it because you see some people that you trust, some sharp people that are taking Chris Godwin at the old, whatever, 4th or 5th round cost that he was. And I was out on it because from listening to people much smarter than me, this is not like my injury take, from listening to people much smarter than I am about this kind of thing. It's like, he's like a really strong bet to like miss a lot of time. Chris Godwin was. And so, I feel from the W side is I feel good about that because I feel vindicated that I was right that he would, fall. I am back on the clock here. I really like Rachaad White, and I really hate everybody else. So we're going to take Rachaad White. If you can bet against Leonard Fournette, I'm totally down to do that. I was told Leonard Fournette makes everybody stupid, so I hope that's okay that I took Rachaad White. But Leonard Fournette does pretty much make everybody stupid, but in different ways. That's a really funny tagline from Josh. I totally agree with him. The Leonard Fournette makes everybody stupid, but like in so many different ways. That's why it was such a perfect tagline. Like, it's so funny. But now, so anyway, you take the W on Chris Godwin because, like, right, you feel vindicated. You're like, I was right. I was right. He was overpriced. He's a high probability bet to miss time, and then like now he's really falling, like really, really falling, and maybe we get a little bit of word of optimism. Was it bullshit? Which it probably was bullshit. Beat reporter speculation that really doesn't mean anything about where he lands, and the coaches aren't really saying anything predictive about where he is in his recovery and stuff. Probably, but you start to get at least a little bit of positive sentiment, And now I do think he's a guy I am pretty interested in. Good Lord, man. I think running or wide receivers got really bad. We're definitely going to have to go Jahan Dotson here. I thought about Tua. If I had any Dolphins, I would take Tua. And I thought about Tua with it. This was the problem. I thought about we could double tap Tua and Gesicki there to get a little Tua stack, but I just didn't think it would ever work. And I'm not really interested in taking Cedric Wilson late. I mean, I know some people might take him or whatever, but that's not for me. If Tua Cedric Wilson is the winning stack in this puppy tournament, then I mean, I'm down to lose. It's fine. I'm betting against much higher probability bets than Tua Cedric Wilson. Let's see here. Gauge above. Bollock says gauge above Godwin makes sense in a cumulative format like drafters. I agree. Yeah. Omar says on DK, I believe he is going above. DraftKings is a wild beast. Wild beast. Dakota says to Omar, he's been drafting so much more on DK. I have as well, Dakota. Let's see here. Hey, shout out to you. Dakota says, I like Eric's stepping stone video talks about taking ideas from different industries and using them for best ball. That is my life, brother. And sorry, I guess Dakota could technically be a female name. That is my life, Dakota. Like my sick brain. So I don't, I've talked about this a lot. I don't listen to a lot of fantasy football content. By now I've consumed so much and read so much and listened to the people that I trust that I pretty much know who Leone likes, Crane likes, Overzet likes, Rebar likes, Silva likes. I'm missing people. Gretsch, Siegel. There's more, right? Tons. I like to listen to Jacob, who's in this draft, who's here in the chat. There's others, right? There's a big group of of people that I like to listen to. The people in the Discord, Hacker who builds our tools, JXP who's in the chat. So there's a lot of people I like to listen to. Jonathan Fuller who writes for us, whatever, right? There's a ton of people I like to listen to, but by this point, I already know what those people think and what. Ooh, let me think about this here. This is either Tyrion Davis Price or Kenny Gainwell territory because Marvin Jones, Corey Davis, Alec Pierce, or Gerald Everett, but let's take Kenny Gainwell, and I think I have quite a bit more TDP. Let me look. Tyrion. Sorry, you guys are getting to listen to me search in Draft IQ. No, okay, they're about even. I was wrong. This is where you're supposed to understand your portfolio, and I thought I had more Davis Price than Gainwell, and I have them about even. Okay, Dakota is a dude. Dakota High T. That's it. Your name is Dakota T in YouTube. It needs to be Dakota High T. That's the only way I would know. Yeah, name all the snubs. Felix snubbed, Silas snubbed, Spag snubbed. They're all people that I do like and listen to and want to hear their opinions, except Rob. I don't listen to Rob. Rob tells me that Trey Lance is a backup. He's a backup quarterback. He doesn't count. I am going to take Noah Fant here. He's a guy I'm trying to get a little bit more of. Again, a price I really like. In a range I really like, and I've taken George Kittle already. I hope they don't have the same buy so people don't get mad at me. But feeling pretty good. I like to, generally speaking, when I'm building a team like this, which is super balanced, right? An anchor running back, elite tight end, and elite quarterback with Devontae Adams. So I basically have an anchor at every position, right? elite quarterback, elite wide receiver, elite running back, elite tight end. I generally lean more towards like a 2-6-8-2 structure. So I'll toss on some hopefully stacked shitty late round quarterback here. But then like whatever that last round pick is, right? I'm done at tight end. Whatever that last round pick is, whether I end with 5 running backs or 6, it doesn't matter. Talked about that last week too. Like it really doesn't matter. People love to pretend like, what's your 2-6-8-2 or 2-5-9-2? It's like, it doesn't matter. Whoever makes more sense on that team. I don't know by the time we get there, I don't know who's going to make more sense. It might make more sense with Nico just went in the 14th round, which is pretty fucking crazy. Speaking of Felix, Felix would be proud that Nico just went in the 14th round. But, sometimes it makes more sense to do Davis Mills and Nico or Davis Mills and Brevin Jordan. Brevin Jordan's a bad example in this theoretical situation, but when you I just missed this. Rob says, when you say Trey Lance is a backup, I appear in chat. Bullock. I'm not even going to pull up the other names. Liam was snubbed. I agree. We're not going to pull up the other names that you mentioned, though. We're not trying to be disrespectful. Only to Rob. Only to Rob. No, I didn't shit on anybody. It was actually the opposite. I was trying to talk about the fact that by this point in it is kind of funny because I tweeted about this and the people seem to like this tweet. That like we've been drafting so long and like my process of like player evaluation and everything is like done. I'll make tweaks here and there, but generally speaking, I know what players I like. I know what offenses I like. I know where my rankings are going to be, generally speaking, because I've already listened to all the smart people. I've done my process and I've listened to the people that I trust. And so we've reached this point and it's like, I don't know. I don't want to read your thread about why Kyle Pitts is a breakout candidate tight end. Like I fucking know, dude. Like I knew in March or February. I knew a long time ago. Before then, we all did. We're all best ball players. We've been drafting these teams for forever. You don't need to tell us Kyle Pitts is a breakout tight end, a superstar tight end or whatever. Like stop. Like stop that. There is shit. We're running low. Okay. Quarterback is fine, I think. I'm reaching like wildly for a guy here because he's a player also in honestly, pardon my French, what's the fucking difference between Isaiah McKenzie and Hamler, Samuel, Julio, Kendrick Bourne, whatever? And if I get one of those guys next, I think that's totally fine. But Isaiah McKenzie is another guy in the Puppy 2 playbook that I'm trying to smash in drafts right now. Also, for my week 17 bros, little Tyler Boyd, Isaiah McKenzie action in this team. Let's see here. I also actually have not a horrible secondary stack set up here, which I'm like, this is the thing that's both good and bad about best ball is there's like actually a pretty good secondary stack I have set up here that like totally has just come together. And like I'm kind of like in a disturbing way excited about it. And like on one hand, it's like that's good. Like it's good to get the positive vibes flowing. And on the other hand, it's like once you see who the name is and like this made you happy on a Monday afternoon, that probably means you're living a really fucking sad life. If that like you were like, ooh, yes, this is a good team because I did this. It's actually bad. That's a really bad sign. Yeah, it's so many engagement farmers. It is oh man, this is very good. Dakota says Erik B, the B stands for big snubber. I like that. I'm gonna Rob, next video you post, I would like for my name to be big snubber. So here's another don't scold me, the reaching bros. We're getting the Carson Wentz, Jahan Dotson stack. And Kareem Hunt. Washington, Cleveland. Week 17. BB. Don't tell that one to Hayden because he said you're not supposed to draft running backs as bringbacks. But when Carson Wentz throws for 5 tutties to Jahan Dotson and Kareem Hunt catches 12 passes as the bringback, Jacoby Brissett check down city, Hayden will be eating his words. Hey, yo, shh, Bullock, zip it. The hot dogs weren't enough, but yes, we're gonna schedule. I owe Rob some other content. Rob, I got your Slack message. I ignored you because I've been working on other things. But yes, we're gonna figure out what we're doing the hot wing challenge. Alex says, "Has Wentz ever thrown for 5 TDs?" I don't believe so. But the funny thing about that is, I remember the Carson Wentz like MVP year. He didn't obviously win the MVP, but he was, if you remember, this is a long time ago. He was before he blew up, but he blew out his knee that year because he's a psychopath madman running around all over the field. He really hasn't been the same since, but he was crushing. What year was that? We got to look that up. It was a Super Bowl year, right? Because wasn't that when Foles took him to the Super Bowl? Yeah, so he finished third. He played 13 games. He finished third in MVP voting. He made the Pro Bowl. In 13 games, he threw for 3,300 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Hold on. He was running back then too. He ran for 300 yards back then. He was literally yes, it was 2017, David. 17. Of course, Rob was the only one to guess 18, and everybody else was correct, and it was 17. Yeah, he was awesome. MVP Carson Wentz, camo sleeve season. David says, Wentz got me to my... Oh, shit, I'm on the clock. Damn, you guys picked those fast. Okay. I can running back or wide receiver here. Ooh, I do like Jerick McKinnon, and I like Donta Foreman. And I really don't like wide receivers here. I'm going to take I have quite a bit more Foreman than McKinnon. Anytime I can bet against Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I feel like that's a reasonable thing to do. Now I do need to actually get out ahead of this, and I will come back to see. I'm not really in on Marlon Mack. I understand people that understand the case, but like, I'm trying to win a big best ball tournament, and you're telling me that the Texans timeshare, like, he's guaranteed to be a timeshare running back. He's not going to be a workhorse. The Texans timeshare running back who is old, has been hurt, is going to be the key to me in December and January, winning a bunch of money over, like, trust me, Jerick McKinnon doesn't exactly fit that archetype either. However, he literally was last year. And he's also on the Chiefs. It's like, honestly, if Marlon Mack and Jerick McKinnon switch places, I would probably draft Marlon Mack, because guess what? One is on the Chiefs and one is on the Texans. And so if I'm going to break ties between those two guys, I'm going to go ahead and Alex spelled Damian Pierce wrong. Yeah. 30 minutes. I talked about him for 3 minutes. Oh, here, I'm gonna take this guy just for Rob. And you know why? When Kyler throws 3 touchdowns to Hollywood, and Brian Zero Upside Edwards comes back on the other side and catches 2, from Desmond Ridder, who has come in because the Falcons are 2-15 or whatever, 2-13, 14. I don't know. One of those. And I win the puppy too with my Carson Wentz. Look at this. This is how you draft a team, by the way. I didn't get any Bears to go with my DeAndre Swift. So I've left the week 17 bros down. This is a good team. Jacob says, if Josh thinks Ertz Algier is bad, just wait for the Brian Edwards bring back. I mean, I'm pretty certain. I don't know about the fantasy football constitution or Bill of Rights or whatever, but if you like AJ Green and you like Terrace Marshall and you like a bunch of dusty dudes like that, you're really not allowed to say anything about 18th round Brian Edwards. Like I'm pretty certain that that's what that means. I'm pretty certain, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. I'm not a legal expert. Yeah, all the Falcons wide receivers are redundant. That's why they're all the same. Drake London goes in the 8th round. Brian Edwards goes in the 18th round. I'm not. Let's pull up the board here. Okay, refreshing. It's not working. Let's see here. Just my second puppy. I'm not drafting a ton of these. Like I said, I've been on DraftKings. Interesting that Austin Hooper and Donta Foreman didn't get picked. Samir White didn't get picked. D'Ernest didn't get picked. I actually like, obviously you saw me take Kareem Hunt here. I actually like taking Hunt and D'Ernest. Obviously it's not ideal if they're on the, here's you want to talk about some Galaxy Brain shit. Here's a Galaxy Brain take. People don't like to take handcuff running backs. Now you have a second string running back and a third string running back on the same team. People are never, ever, ever going to take Kareem Hunt and D'Ernest Johnson. But the upside bet for each player individually is that one of them gets traded and they are on separate teams. So you actually, in fact, are better off taking them on the same team because that is where their ceiling case comes from, and it's unique. Uniqueness and uncertainty and upside, all the stupid ass keywords that we're supposed to talk about. John, you were John's the John, you got a red badge. There's no roasting. We don't roast red badges around here. JT with the Chargers double dip at the 2-3 turn. At least you didn't overpay for the Chargers wide receivers. They're not like the most overpriced wide receivers in the pool or anything. Or draft Allen Robinson, the wide receiver 91 last year in the 4th round. Didn't overpay for him. Breece Hall, Hunter Renfrow. I mean, Devontae Adams and Darren Waller are on the team. There's only one football. Alan Lazard, 701. The 701. Alan Lazard. I feel like that doesn't really even need any more elaboration. Tyler Lockett, are you aware that Russell Wilson isn't there and they haven't traded for a quarterback? Tyler Lockett probably doesn't have an awesome connection with Drew Lock and Geno Smith. At least you got naked Dak Prescott, so that's good. No stack with him. That should work well. Aaron Rodgers, he definitely really cares about football still, not COVID and eating clay and whatever else he's doing. Mecole Hardman is certainly not proven to be bad at the NFL level. Pat Freiermuth has either Mitch Trubisky or the smallest hand quarterback in the NFL throwing him the ball. Robert Tonyan, hey, at least you got the stack with Rodgers from a guy who's never caught passes and is coming off blowing out his knee. Gus Edwards, another guy blowing out his knee. Khalil Herbert is Tristan Ebner's backup on the Bears. Darrell Williams is Eno Benjamin's backup on the Cardinals. Ryan Tannehill has wide receiver 1 is geriatric Robert Woods. and a kid who can't play football because he has asthma, and Kyle Phillips is literally not going to make the Titans. Awesome team, dude. Anybody else? I didn't think so. I'm kidding. Obviously, I don't mind that team. I mean, that's not a lot of guys that I draft, but it was fun to kind of talk through. Michael says, aside from my doom scroll to Herbert when I had McLaurin queued, I like my squad out of the 11 hole. Okay. 11 spot. Travis Kelce at 11 is nice. Travis Kelce and CD. You took CD from the 101. Nick Chubb, I mean, always good to draft a guy who doesn't catch passes in a Jacoby Brissett offense. Justin Herbert, yeah, unstacked Justin Herbert, always good. Elijah Moore, Russell. You were the guy that chat was making fun of for drafting Russell Gage in at the 602. Sorry, I think that's the 62nd overall. Look, the people that I obviously, as you guys know, I side a little bit more with. I do a little bit of content with the ship chasing type community. Peter, Pat, Gretch, Davis, all that kind of stuff, right? I actually am more pro Russell Gage than what, and you even heard, if you listened to Stealing Bananas, you even heard Gretch recently. I don't know what they were, if it was the projection show or whatever it was, when they talked through Russell Gage. Ben was even like, I had to give Gage a little bit more credit. I have been a little bit more pro Russell Gage than like everybody that I like listen to in fantasy football. But Russell Gage at 62nd overall is pretty fucking insane. He's still Russell Gage. Tony Pollard, I like that. Treylon Burks has asthma. Cordell Patterson. Did you know this is half point PPR? And they got Algier. Rondale Moore is do 2 yard catches go well for Underdog scoring, not scoring touchdowns and catching 2 yard passes. It's probably a pretty good 10th round pick. Damian Pierce. I mean, we just fucking talked about Marlon Mack. At least you got a timeshare Texans running back in the 10th round, 11th round. That'll go really well. Buying the top on Josh Palmer, no big deal. Tyrion Davis Price, Trey Sermon's back up in the 13th round. Nice. Zach Wilson. I mean, I feel like we definitely don't even need to get into to the Zach Wilson thing, right? I'm not gonna go down that road. I don't have a great joke, but he probably not building team camaraderie, considering he's probably one of your younger players. Russell Gage's wife should probably be on the lookout for your QB2 here. Wandale is about 5'6". Brevin Jordan, I mean, at least you correlated Brevin Jordan with the worst possible correlation on the Texans. Devin Duvernay. What the fuck? Why are people drafting Devin Duvernay? Can someone tell me why people are drafting Devin Duvernay? Is he going to touch the field? He doesn't play on the outside. He's a slot receiver and a punt returner. They drafted all these tight ends. They've got Nick Boyle back, and they have Rashad Bateman on the outside. He's like never going to play, and people are taking him. Like James Prochet and Tylan Wallace are going to play wide receiver for the Ravens, and they're going to play a bunch of tight ends and running backs. Chris Evans. I like Chris Evans. Yeah, that was a very good meme. The Mormon more moms, the Drake meme with the Mormon more moms. Really good. Okay. I'm tired now from the saucing. I think Silas asked about Scott Fishbowl, and I am on deck. Oh, baby. Hold on. I'll share my I can share my Scott Fishbowl screen really fast. Scott Fishbowl. That background is just so bad. So I'm picking 10th. The 9th pick is up. Just came on the, relatively recently just came on the on the clock. Go fuck yourself. I'm not going to eat a hot dog. I'm literally never ever going to eat a hot dog again in my life. And I can assure you there's many things that I probably could do okay discussing. That I value my job, and I value what we got going on here. I would prefer that the powers that be, I talk about a lot of stupid shit for a living. It's what I get paid to do. I fucking ate a bunch of hot dogs while doing a best ball draft. Talking about someone sleeping with older women and all of that is a road that can only lead to trouble. Only lead to trouble for me. So we're gonna go ahead and avoid that. I'm just trying to show you. You don't need. It's we're fucking 8 picks in. You don't need to see the grid view. I agree. Definitely leave the I'll let everybody else talk about the Zach Wilson stuff. There's some funny little jokes here and there, but I'm not really trying to get into all that. It is funny though. It is very funny. You know what else is funny is that the 108 took Derrick Henry in this in my Scott Fish Bowl. And it's kind of crazy that we were talking in the Discord that I was hoping for. I'm gonna pull it up really fast. One of my last messages was like, Lamar and Kyler and Russ are all still there, and I'm gonna get one of them, or Hurts. I think Hurts too. And now it's like, well, now I'm gonna get one of Lamar or Kyler. in the what the fuck does this mean, Adam? I don't know what that means. You sound tight. Like when I was young, tight was like cool, dope, or whatever. I'm not sure if that's still the thing. I'm old now, so I don't know if that's like what that means. If it is, thank you. Yeah, fly, as Willis says. Fly, dope, tight, fresh, whatever. All the other stupid things we said when I was younger. But I haven't heard someone say that in a while. So I felt offended initially. Anyway, you guys have put up with me. You guys have put up with me enough off the chain. Yeah, off the chain. Just follow whatever Josh does. He has all the answers when it comes to Scott Fish Bowl ADP. Yep. And again, if you're in Scott Fish Bowl or you're interested in just kind of what's going on, Josh ADHD, also give him a follow at Josh_ADHD on Twitter. Built the app for Scott Fish Bowl, seeing literally every pick that gets made is in there. All sorts of cool insights. So really, it's a really cool contest, and what Josh put together is awesome for seeing kind of like what a lot, 2,500, 3,000 different people, half people that work in the space, half fans or whatever. It's really interesting to follow. I don't know if I might join Rob tomorrow for the football show. Tuesdays is the Spike Week football show. I might join Rob tomorrow. We'll see. Feeling frisky after today's after today's show. But if I'm not back, obviously you will see Rob tomorrow. I have a guest booked for Best Ball Bros on Wednesday. I think you guys will enjoy that person. And we're back into this groove. I mean, 60 days, I think it is 60 days or so until football, give or take. So it's getting close. It's getting close. 60 days, however many drafts you want to do, think about the fact that you only have 60 days to do them, and then do the math on how many you have to do per day. It's gonna make you sick, because it's making me sick. But I might see you guys tomorrow. You're definitely gonna see Rob tomorrow. I'll see you guys later this week. Have a good rest of your Monday.